So this past year in the acting categories, we had some great nominations, some good ones, some not so good ones. How would I rank the 20 nominees in acting at the 97th Oscars? Hey guys, it's Brian. Welcome to the Awards Contender. This is a video I've never made before, and I thought it would be fun. I'm getting close to moving on from the 97th Academy Awards, I promise. There's this video and one more, and then we get to ridiculously early Oscar predictions, which is coming your way very shortly. But before I move on, I did get this video request from a commenter, Santiago, a few days ago. Like, could you rank all 20 of the acting Oscar nominees this year? And I thought, yeah, that'd be fun. I've never actually done that before, especially following a ceremony, just a few days later. So at first I thought, oh, that'll be easy, to come up with my list of 20. But no, it was kind of tough, especially I would say between number 7 and number 14, going through. I mean, some of these are very close, guys, just because you have a favorite Oscar nominee who's number 14. That doesn't mean I don't like that nomination. There just might be some others I prefer. So let's get started with number 20, Best Actress, Carla, Sofia Gascon, Emilia Perez. Let me be very clear. I don't hate this performance. She is fine in that movie. But yeah, Gascon, these last few weeks, she really put a damper on the award season and just all of those controversies with the movie I thought was fine, but nothing great. It didn't go over very well. There were so many better performances I thought could have gotten into Best Actress. I picked Gascon in my recent worst Oscar nominations list, and yeah, I mean, she has a couple good moments in that movie, but she didn't have to get in everywhere. She didn't need to get the Oscar nomination for Best Actress. Number 19, Best Supporting Actor, Edward Norton, A Complete Unknown. So this one might surprise you if you didn't watch my worst Oscar nominations video. I didn't much care for Norton in that movie. I thought, he gave a good performance. He wasn't terrible or anything. But of his 4 Oscar nominations, this is by far, for me, the worst one. Even Birdman, which is kind of forgettable, I would say. I didn't think he did anything extraordinary in A Complete Unknown. In some way, I feel like the nomination was for the makeup job, on his nose and his hair and stuff, and keeping up with Timothée Chalamet, and he's in a good chunk of the movie. He doesn't just have one scene or something, so it makes sense to me why he got in everywhere, why he might have been in second place behind Kieran Culkin, I don't know. But I just think in terms of the quality of the performances we got this past year, there's so much great stuff. And so again, even though I don't hate this performance or anything, he's fine. I just think compared to the other 20, it's not one of the best we got for 2024. Number 18, Best Supporting Actress, Zoe Saldaña, Emilia Perez. So I have talked at length about how I don't hate that Oscar nomination. I don't hate that win for Zoe Saldaña, mostly because I have always adored her as an actress, all of the franchise movies she's been a part of. She's done some really good work on television and things. She's been around a while, and I've always really liked her. So this is one of those things where I'm happy Zoe Saldaña has an Academy Award in her house, but is it for the right movie? No. Right? The performance she gives in Emilia Perez is solid. As I've said before, I think it's the best thing about the movie. Whenever Saldaña is there, I feel like that film comes to life a little bit more. But did she have to win? Did she have to get nominated for that movie? Not necessarily. It's kind of a lead performance. She's nominated in supporting. I didn't like that very much. And it's yeah, I'm happy she has an Oscar, but it's not one of the best nominations of the year. It's certainly not one of the best wins. Number 17, Best Supporting Actress, Isabella Rossellini, Conclave. So you might disagree with me on this one. I always felt from the beginning that she is not in enough of that movie to warrant an Oscar nomination. Now you might say, Brian, you just said that Zoe Saldaña is in like too much of her movie to get into supporting. That's more of a lead performance. Now you have a genuine supporting performance, like actually nominated at the Oscars. And come on, you take issue with that too? Like, what are you looking for? What do you want? But I just, like, she's not in very much of Conclave. She doesn't have much to do. Rossellini has that one really great moment, but even that scene halfway through is pretty brief. She talks for what, maybe 1 minute? Maybe 90 seconds? Like, you know, I love that Oscar win for Beatrice Straight in Network. She basically won an Oscar for one scene, but that is a dynamite scene in that film. She is freaking amazing. And I don't think Rossellini in Conclave is at that level. And the rest of her performance is like in Dark Rooms and just like her giving looks and things. Even though I appreciate that a genuine supporting performance got in, I still don't think she had enough to do in that movie to warrant a nomination. I'm still surprised, actually, she got in everywhere she did. Number 16, Best Supporting Actor, Kieran Culkin, A Real Pain. So you thought I contradicted myself once? I'm about to do it again. Because when I was making my list and, you know, I thought about having Kieran Culkin higher up at like 7 or 8 or 9 or something. But then I thought about it and I'm like, he is in that entire movie. So the category fraud of Culkin is why I have him so low on the list. He should have been nominated in Best Actor, you know, but they wanted him to win. He wasn't going to win in lead actor, like over Adrien Brody and Timothée Chalamet. That was not going to happen. If Culkin wanted to win the Oscar, he had to go supporting, and you had to make the case that, like, he's supporting Jesse Eisenberg in that movie, which is a little flimsy, if you ask me. I always felt like that was more category fraud than Zoe Saldaña. So that's why I have Culkin so low on this list. I love the performance. I have nothing bad to say about his performance in A Real Pain. He is excellent in that. He is a force of nature. I take issue with the category. He should have been nominated in lead actor, not supporting. Number 15, Best Actor, Timothée Chalamet, A Complete Unknown. So here's one that's probably a lot lower on this list than you expected, right? Like, he had a chance to win Best Actor this year. You might have thought I would have ranked him higher at like 7 or 8 or something. But even though I did really enjoy that movie and he is solid as Bob Dylan, I didn't think it was like a wow kind of performance. I didn't walk out of the theater like, holy crap, he just like totally disappeared into Bob Dylan, completely immersed himself. I forgot I was looking at Chalamet. I didn't have that reaction to him. Like, I think his Oscar nomination for Call Me By Your Name is much better. I think that's a more complex, more interesting performance from Chalamet than what he did in A Complete Unknown. I'm excited to see what he's cooking up with his next big movie, Marty Supreme, which might be an Oscar contender in a few months, right? So we'll see how he does in that. His performance as Bob Dylan is very good. I just, compared to like 14 other performances that got in this year, I don't think it was one of the best. Number 14, Best Actress, Cynthia Erivo, Wicked. So I feel like I'm gonna get some hate for for this video. I can already see, dozens of you guys just angrily commenting already. Like, number 14 for Erivo, Brian? Are you freaking crazy? So, I appreciated her performance in Wicked. She does a very, very good job. I think of the two performances in this first film of the two, I do think the flashier, more compelling, more memorable performance in that movie is Ariana Grande. Sorry. I do think there are some stretches to that movie where she doesn't get like a whole lot to do, in the narrative. Her shining moment, of course, comes through at the end. And, she is spectacular in the last 20 minutes of that movie. She's very, very good. I can't wait to see what she does in Wicked for Good. You know, I feel like there might be a bit more complexity in her performance in the second movie. So I'm hoping she's even better in that and gets another Best Actress Oscar nomination in a year's time. That would be great. But yeah, I just, I really liked her performance in Wicked. I wasn't bowled over by her like so many others were. I thought she was really, really good. I didn't necessarily think she was great. Oh man. I am in deep shit, aren't I? Number 13, Best Actor, Ralph Fiennes, Conclave. So here's another one, kind of like Erivo, I would say. I liked his performance in that movie. He's got a couple like emotional beats and, he kind of holds that film together. It's always a joy to watch Ralph Fiennes in any movie, really. He's a great actor. But I didn't think there was anything truly extraordinary about what he did in Conclave. Like compared to the Grand Budapest Hotel, which did not get Ralph Fiennes an Oscar nomination in Best Actor, which was crazy. Like, I think that's a more interesting performance than what he does in Conclave. I think he just kind of came along for the ride because he's very solid, and many, many, many people, lots of awards voters, really took to Conclave, let's say more than the Grand Budapest Hotel. So there was that. He's very good in that film. I'm happy he got nominated everywhere. But is it one of the 10 best acting Oscar nominations of 2024? I wouldn't put him that high. Number 12, Best Supporting Actress, Monica Barbaro, A Complete Unknown. So this was my favorite acting Oscar nomination for A Complete Unknown. I thought she was better than Chalamet and Norton. She was a breath of fresh air in that movie. Whenever Monica Barbaro was on the screen, I was leaning forward, I was taking notice. I thought she was really great in that, playing Joan Baez. It's a terrific performance. There's a lot of life and vivacity in what she's doing. I love all of her moments where she's singing with Chalamet and she's got a little sass to her at times, and she was excellent in that movie, and I was surprised when she didn't get nominated at the Globes and at Critics' Choice. It was such a lovely surprise when she got in at SAG. And then she got the Oscar nomination, over Jamie Lee Curtis, who came close to an Oscar nomination for The Last Showgirl. That nomination would not have ranked very high on this list. Barbaro was the better choice, and even though it's not like one of the very best acting Oscar nominations of the year, that's definitely a good one. Number 11, Best Supporting Actor, Yura Borisov, Anora. Borisov, right? I was saying Borisov for the longest time, and then a few people were like, it's Borisov. I'm excited to see what he does next. I think this Oscar nomination has to do some wonders for his career, right? Let's see what happens. Why do I have him ranked at 11 and not like 5 or 6 or something? I mean, Anora was my favorite film of the year, so you might be surprised I have this ranked as far down as I do. Part of it is, for a few weeks there, I was like, oh, the best supporting actor play from this movie is going to be Mark Eidelstein. I thought that was the play there. He is so flashy and fun and hilarious in that movie. And I still, personally, I prefer in supporting actor Eidelstein over Borisov. That's what I prefer. Like, who would have gotten nominated, even though I do very much enjoy what Borisov does in that film, especially in the third act. We're really left with him and Mikey Madison. So it makes sense to me why Borisov got in over Eidelstein. Eidelstein is also extremely young. I think that might have hurt him as well. And he's gone for like a huge chunk in the middle of the movie. So, I get it. But Borisov is also an excellent Oscar nomination. I'm so happy he got in everywhere. Like from the Globes to the Oscars, he did not miss. And that's not something I would have expected in like November, December. So that's really cool. It's a terrific performance. I'm so happy he got the Oscar nomination. Number 10, Best Actor, Sebastian Stan, The Apprentice. What a frickin' phenomenal performance Sebastian Stan gave in that movie. To be honest, for a few months there, I didn't really have a desire to watch The Apprentice. I was like, maybe it'll just fade away. Maybe I won't have to watch it. And then it came out in theaters in October, and it was a little quiet there. But then it was starting to come on as like maybe an awards contender. I'm like, Brian, I should probably watch this. And then I got a digital screener, and I had a night like to myself, and I thought, let's put this on. Let's see how it is. And I really loved The Apprentice. It's a great movie. It reminded me of like early Scorsese and like how it's shot, how it's edited, and it was really immersive. And those two main performances are fantastic. I mean, for anyone to play Donald Trump right now, that's a tricky proposition. And Stan is the best one who's done it so far. Like, it's really great. You forget you're watching Stan, and it's not a caricature. You know, he makes him into like a real living person. It's not just making fun or like dressing up his face with like a ton of orange makeup and stuff. Like it's a fully realized performance by Sebastian Stan. And I do think that acting Oscar nomination is one of the 10 best of this past year. Number 9, Best Supporting Actor, Jeremy Strong, The Apprentice. So an even better performance in The Apprentice, I would say, just by a smidge, I would put them pretty close together, is Jeremy Strong as Roy Cohn in that film. He is also like really something else in that movie. He totally immerses himself in that character. You forget you're watching Strong. And he's got some shocking moments in that. He really grabs your attention every scene he's in. His physical look, you know, like it's especially as the movie goes on, it really captures who that man was. And Strong is an actor I've really come to admire from Succession. And this is his first film performance he's given. I really loved. I mean, you know, it was a thrill watching The Apprentice and seeing what Stan and Strong were up to in that movie. They both deliver outstanding performances. Number 8, Best Supporting Actress, Ariana Grande, Wicked. So come on, she had to be in the top 10. I mean, she knocked me out in that movie. You know, I was so doubtful for months. I'm like, you know, she'll be okay in that. And, you know, just from beginning to end, Grande just nailed that role, nailed the songs, all her little quirks and like her movements, like whether she's singing or not singing, every moment she is on screen, you cannot look away. That role was tailor-made for Ariana Grande, and she gave the performance of a lifetime. I can't wait to see if that performance of a lifetime continues into Wicked for Good. I'm assuming it will. If she's as good or even better in the follow-up, maybe she'll actually win some things next season. That would be great. I am still so impressed by what Grande was able to do with that role of Glinda in Wicked. I mean, she was fantastic, and she did give one of the best performances of 2024. Number 7, Best Supporting Actress, Felicity Jones, The Brutalist. So my choice for the best Oscar nomination this past year in Supporting Actress was Felicity Jones. And it was baffling to me that she couldn't gain more traction this past award season. That she wasn't nominated at SAG was crazy to me. I mean, I know she doesn't come into that movie until the second half. I wonder if that hurt her in the end, that you have to wait till after intermission to like get the meat of her performance and how great she is. Maybe enough people just turned off the movie early on, I don't know. But if you stick with The Brutalist, you find the best Felicity Jones has ever been in a movie. Like her look, her accent, all the little decisions she makes, and that incredible scene at the end when she confronts Guy Pearce in that giant mansion, like that house. Like, I've never stopped thinking about that moment. She's so good. And it's right there at the end. Why couldn't Jones have been more competitive? I don't know. Because she was on her second nomination. She had been nominated before. And The Brutalist won some things. I don't know. I think that would have been a great Oscar win for Best Supporting Actress, Felicity Jones in The Brutalist. Number 6, Best Supporting Actor, Guy Pearce, The Brutalist. So even better in The Brutalist, just by a smidge, right? Again, kind of like how I talked about with The Apprentice. It's very close for me, but Guy Pearce, what a performance. Like, what an incredible performance from an actor who's been doing consistently great work for decades. Like going all the way back to The Adventures of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, to LA Confidential and Memento, and The Count of Monte Cristo. I love his villainous turn in that 2002 adaptation. I've always really adored Guy Pearce, and I've been waiting for his Oscar moment. It finally happened for The Brutalist. And I mean, he also missed at SAG. That was absolutely crazy. And I was like, is he not going to get the Oscar nomination? I am going to riot. I'm like really going to be pissed. So I'm happy he made it in at BAFTA and he did get the Oscar nomination. Very good, Academy. Good choice. He is so devilish in The Brutalist, but has this like warm charisma about him that really brings people into the fold and get them to trust him when like he's not trustworthy at all. It's a very layered, complex, three-dimensional performance that is my choice for the best Oscar nomination in either supporting actor or supporting actress of 2024. Number 5, Best Actor, Colman Domingo, Sing Sing. So here's another performance I thought should have won more things, you know? As great as Adrien Brody is in The Brutalist, I mean, that is an all-timer dramatic performance. He's so good in that, and we'll get to him very soon. But I feel like Colman Domingo is also extraordinary in Sing Sing, and if that film had done a little bit better this past award season, if it had gotten into Best Picture at the Oscars, if it had gotten into Supporting Actor for Clarence Macklin, which also should have happened, I'd say. If the film had performed better in other categories, I feel like Domingo could have been a little bit more competitive, especially because he just got a Best Actor Oscar nomination the year before for Rustin. So it's not like he's like overdue or something, but to have like back-to-back Best Actor Oscar nominations and just to not win anywhere, you know, for either movie, that felt wrong to me. And he's so emotionally devastating in Sing Sing. He's got at least 3 or 4 scenes that really stood out to me and like got me crying at the end. He's so good. I hope the next Oscar nomination for Colman Domingo gets him a win. Number 4, Best Actor, Adrien Brody, The Brutalist. So I know I poked fun at Adrien Brody in a recent video, you know, going beat by beat through his 5-minute, 40-second speech, the new record beating Greer Garson, you know, from the 1940s. But like, you know, the speech is what it is. The performance is incredible. I walked out of The Brutalist last September at the Toronto Film Festival. I said that is our Best Actor Oscar winner this year. I don't know who's gonna deliver a performance in Best Actor that's better than that, and there never was. I think Domingo came closest, but I still would pick Brody as the best male performance of 2024. Definitely the best male performance that got nominated at the Oscars. I mean, if you love The Brutalist, you kind of have to love that performance. He is all over that thing. I think he's in like 2.5 hours of the running time, maybe longer. And he creates such a fascinating character. I love all the choices he makes, and it's just such a rich character for him to inhabit. And it's like he must have known signing up for this project. This was the best role he'd had since The Pianist 22 years ago, and he just knocked it out of the park. He was perfect casting for that movie, for that role, and he did give the performance of a lifetime. Number 3, Best Actress, Fernanda Torres, I'm Still Here. So this was just one of the great Oscar nominations of 2024. That was such a thrill to see I'm Still Here in Toronto and really enjoy it, but like unsure, like would that be an awards contender? You know, I mean, would it get lost, you know, in the crowd? And it didn't. Man, she won the Golden Globe. She got the Oscar nomination. She was talked about like to maybe win, you know, like that was possible maybe. And so she's such a lovely person. She gives such a wonderful, like complex performance in I'm Still Here. It's a very internalized performance, you know, she's not screaming and shouting all the way through. She's got that one explosive moment, you know, when she bangs on the car. But for the most part, her performance exists through her eyes, through her expressions. We know this is a woman in pain. It is a masterclass performance. I'm so happy got an Oscar nomination for Best Actress. Number 2, Best Actress, Demi Moore, The Substance. So yeah, what can I say? What can I frickin' say at this point about Demi Moore and The Substance? I've talked about how at the end there, I really did want her to win. There was just such a cool narrative there, and making that Elusive Oscar video about her career, I really wanted to see that moment. I think it would have been cool. Is this the best acting Oscar nomination of the year? No. There's one more person to talk about, but I just frickin' loved this comeback role for Demi Moore. This is the best she's ever been in a movie, And she's made how many dozens of films going back to the 1980s? This was her richest character and performance, and she really commits, She didn't half-ass in any way, playing this character and all of her looks, the physical elements, the emotional elements. I mean, a lot of her performance is her staring at herself in a mirror, and it is frickin' captivating, wow, what a performance. What a win her performance getting nominated everywhere was for the horror genre. Those kind of performances almost never get recognized. That she got as close as she did to winning the Academy Award for Best Actress for a movie like that. That was something else. That was really, really awesome. I am so happy Demi Moore was recognized all over the place this past award season for her remarkable performance in The Substance. And number 1, of course, is Best Actress Mikey Madison, Anora. Not a surprise, right? I had to have Madison at the top. That was my choice for Performance of the Year. Anora, my favorite movie of 2024. I flirted with maybe putting Torres or Moore above Madison or something, but at the end of the day, even though in that moment, Emma Stone opening the envelope, I kind of wanted to hear a different name in these weeks now that have passed. I'm like, Brian, the right performance won. You don't give Anora Best Picture, Best Director, Best Original Screenplay, Best Film Editing, and not give it Best Actress. That makes sense. She gave one of the best performances I've seen in the movies in the last few years. She is a star in that thing. She is absolutely incredible from one scene to the next. I mean, she's funny, she's emotional, she's physical. She does everything in that film. For someone in her mid-20s who, she's had a couple memorable turns in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and Scream 5, and she's been good in things, but this was the role of a lifetime for Mikey Madison. And it didn't matter that she was young, that she doesn't have a ton of movie credits. This was the best performance of 2024, and she deserved to win the Oscar for Best Actress. I love that win, I love that performance, and in a field of 20 acting Oscar nominations, some of which I loved or like more than others, it's obvious. It's obvious. The number 1 Best Acting Oscar nomination of 2024 is, of course, Best Actress for Mikey Madison in Anora. Thanks so much for watching and subscribing, and let me know in the comments below, how would you rank the 20 acting Oscar nominees of this past year, and I'll see you next time at the Awards Contender.